Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to another message, the daily message. I'm feeling good today. I hope you're feeling good too. But whatever you're feeling, I don't know what this message is going to be. I am totally in the dark. I've not pulled cards yet. So we're going to pull them immediately. Cheetah, bottom of deck. Owl, this owl. Okay, this is looking very similar to yesterday's message already. Yesterday we had the owl as the main and the tiger underneath, but now it's kind of opposite with the big cat. Cheetah, it's the main energy and the owl underneath. Okay, so cheetah right away, fastest land animal in the animal kingdom. Fast movement forward, charging into your destiny, your purpose, solar force. The advice on this card in this deck is always about checking in with yourself and checking in with your purpose before you start running, right? Because the cheetah comes with huge momentum. It's so fast, and once it gets going, I just saw 111 on the timer. 111. When the cheetah, see, I'm going fast. My voice is fast. I feel the energy. It's very potent, very intense. When the cheetah gets moving, it gets moving, and it doesn't stop until it, catches the antelope, until it gets what it wants, until it, finishes the hunt. So this is the main energy for this reading today, and this is the main animal guide. And this is your gift, because the owl, as the underlying energy, talks about abundance, clairvoyance, treasure, a boon, some kind of gift. Usually for me, when I've used this deck, it's in spiritual form, could be material form, but just some kind of gift, some kind of treasure. So I feel like something within you is awakening to this sense of purpose, this sense of forward momentum. My readings kind of build off each other. So in yesterday's reading, we were talking about the King of Wands, like that Leo, fiery, bold, strength energy. We're in Leo season. Like, this is what's here for you. This is the gift, and it's awakening. And I feel like day by day, right, we are seeing the unfolding of this energy, at least in this collective. And in my own life, there's an unfolding of seeing our talents, our gifts, our greater purpose emerging. I also feel like with this owl, this is something that you may have been having a hard time with seeing, not understanding. Like, you know how sometimes in life there are things that we're avoiding doing, that we know we should be doing, but we're not doing it because we're afraid of it. I don't feel like in this situation that's quite what this is. I feel like what this has been is, it's like you have a knowing that there's a huge vitality, a huge energy within you, and you've known that you're very gifted, you've known you have a huge potential, a huge purpose, but you genuinely didn't know what that was or what that would look like. And that's a good thing, because it means it's going to be original. It means it's going to have a signature to it that's just new, that people have not seen before, which is exciting. If you don't know what's coming for you, that usually means that it's something that the world's never seen before, that you've never tapped into, that other people have never tapped into. So it's coming, and I feel like it's unfolding. I feel like you have had to probably learn how to trust divine timing. I'm hearing ringing in my left ear, feminine. Okay, yeah, maybe you've been sitting in your feminine energy for a long time. You've gotten to know your feminine energy and learn how to trust that unknown, intuitive, creative, receptive space within yourself, which is hard to do. It's very hard. That in itself is an act of rebellion in this fast-paced, very masculinized world that we're in, right? We live in a very, very masculine world, and it's not necessarily good masculine either. It's kind of becoming low vibrational masculine, in that it's just constantly moving, constantly acting, constantly structuring just for the sake of it. So yeah, I feel like somebody just walked by. I just got distracted. Distraction, right? It's distracting. That masculine's been very distracting. But you've been able to hold the center in your feminine, is what I'm getting. You've been very feminine, very learning how to trust in that unknown. But maybe this purpose, like this more high vibrational masculine side of yourself, was something that was hard to access, or you felt maybe certain shame or certain like not good enough, feeling less than, because you didn't know what that like expressive purpose was, right? Regardless of your gender, it's like you had to learn how to trust this feminine space, but knew there was more in your masculine that wasn't quite being accessed yet, but you like genuinely just didn't know. It was like, but what is it? And I feel like that's unfolding for you now. I feel like now you're starting to see it. If you're resonating with this reading and watching it this far, then you're beginning to feel and see, okay, now I'm understanding. Like the expression, the structure, the purpose, it's starting to now emerge from that like womb space of the feminine, the unknown hidden potential that was there. It's now starting to show itself. So yeah, that was kind of like, it's a weird energy I'm tapping into right now, but I hope that makes sense. Like even me trying to describe it, it's really hard to describe. You're just very good at living in that sort of unknown, unspoken world. But now you're learning how to articulate it. You're learning to articulate what you've been through. You are now putting the pieces together of all that unspoken experience and, you know, death and rebirth and transformation you've been through. And now you're really beginning to tap into the ability to bring it to conscious light. Whoa, okay, cool. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna pull tarot for you now, just to get deeper into this energy and see what's going on with it. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me, King of Wands is on the bottom of the deck here. Can you tell me more about this purpose that is being unveiled, this greater purpose, this masculine, solar charged, like momentum energy that's coming out for this collective, Spirit? Thank you. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. What else here, Spirit? The Tower in reverse. Page of Wands. What else? What else? What else? Thanks for being here, y'all. 8 of Wands. 4 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Let me look at these here. Ace of Pentacles, the Tower, reverse, Page of Wands, 8 of Wands. 4 of Cups. Okay. So this collective, you're resonating with me because we're on a very similar wavelength here. And I can even feel that this reading's for me as well. Your purpose is going to be in telling your story, is what I'm getting here. The reason you did not know your purpose before, and the reason that this was hard to articulate, is because you were still in the story of it. You were still in the process of the becoming of the thing. Like, it wasn't there for you. Okay. Okay. Sippy, sippy. Okay, wow. Okay, this is coming together. This is hitting me. You were trying. Okay. I'm getting such like a heart chakra feeling right now, just laughing because I'm having a realization here in this. I love when this happens, y'all. Okay, bear with me. Okay. Woo! This is good. And it's such a release. It's such a relief. This is a key. You were meant to be in this feminine energy, this unspoken void space, just receiving and perceiving and moving through your inner world, moving through life in a way that was not trying to act, not trying to do, not trying to move ahead, because that was the story. Like within that time period, whatever events took place and had to happen, and you'll know what that is for you, because I feel this is like a years-long process for a lot of you. Whatever that story was, whatever happened during that time, whatever you went into, worked on within yourself, saw within others because of that, whatever was reflected back to you, etc., it's going to be very different for each person. That story that you have been through was the thing that was going to always be your purpose. It was always going to be a huge piece of your expression in this world. Hence why you did not really know what to do. You didn't know what to do. You knew something big was happening. You knew there was a big potential within you, but you didn't know what that looked like in terms of its more like masculine conscious structure in the world, because you weren't meant to yet. The linear storyline of that was not complete. You were tapping into like infinite potential, higher dimensional potential. I like that, dimensional potential. But it hadn't happened in linear time for you yet. So now, because of what you went through, I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles and the Tower in reverse here particularly. Because of whatever difficulty you went through, whatever you saw, and this is giving me like material, physical, 3D kind of like difficulty and upheaval. This isn't just you going through an inner like mental, emotional, spiritual upheaval. This actually affected your material life, your physical life. It affected you in every way, to the root, to the core. But because you transmuted it, because you went through it, faced it head on, saw it all, went through that story, now this is what's emerging. The Page of Wands and the Eight of Wands here together. There's a new opportunity for you to have like overflow, and I feel very quickly intense inspiration, ideas, creativity just coming in one after the other, opportunity even coming in one after the other, because you have this story now. That is your value. That's your thing. Fuel level low. 40 kilometers to empty. 40 could be a big number. Fuel level low. Yeah, like I feel like this cycle, how do I explain this? How do I articulate this, Spirit? This cycle took a lot out of you, but you still felt like you needed to be doing more. But no, like it's almost like you had imposter syndrome, because this is such like a niche, unseen cycle that you went through. Like people don't normally do this, and on the surface it might have looked like you weren't doing much. It might have looked like, well, what are you doing with your life? Why aren't you like in the rat race like everybody else, trying to accumulate material things, trying to accumulate wealth, trying to get ahead in your job? You weren't trying to do all that, but you were doing immense energetic, spiritual, emotional, mental work on every level, and it was still affecting your material life. Even if it looked like you were going backwards to other people. Whoa, I see 444 on the fire hydrant in front of me. Fire hydrants have like water reserves under them in the earth, like fuel level low. You were replenishing, okay. You were replenishing your energy and your like spiritual self beyond what could be seen by others. It's like, yeah, you're like a you're like a fire hydrant. You're like a fire hydrant that is like on the surface, it doesn't look like it's doing much. It's just sitting there, right? But like under the surface, it's connected to this huge potential for energy. Water, right? Water represents energy. And like when a fire hydrant is tapped into, like when it's needed most, like when there's a fire that needs to be put out, that fire hydrant is going to provide just like tons of water. And that's like you. It's like when the world is running low, when the world's fuel and their reserves are running low, because we're getting into a time where people are just running and have nothing left to give, and that's the momentum of our world, in that lower vibrational masculine I was talking about, you are going to be the one who has that like immense reserve of like feminine water spiritual energy. I'm getting Scorpio from that too, like Scorpio energy. Scorpio being like the fixed water sign, just immense power and energy that is unseen to most, but when it's needed most, when it will be needed most, and when people need it most, 1717 on the timer, you are going to be the one who has it. And where your value was not seen before, where it was looked at like what you were doing was just valueless, worthless, had no purpose, it's going to be understood very soon why. Like the tables will be completely turned. The people and the situations that thought that what they were investing in was more valuable than what you were, it's going to be the opposite. They're going to realize, like there are going to be people realizing they need people like you. This world, in like wherever you are in this collective, I feel like I'm speaking to people who are all over the map. This is now leaking out into the bigger world collective, and I think why so many people have spiritually awakened in the last few years and been doing this work in the last few years is because there's going to be a time when all that work that was sort of like scorned or just devalued is going to be so valuable and needed. And that 8 of Wands and Page of Wands, it's like you are going to be the one with the vitality, the inspiration, the like healing and knowledge and creativity and ideas to give, like because you are the one who has honed your channel. You are the one who went within and went through the battles and transmuted and did what needed to be done. You cleaned up shop, not only for yourself, but like in other situations. And whew, I just want to like shake this off. It's like you're coming out and you're just like, you're shaking off the energy and you're like, I'm ready to be now the leader. I'm ready for the opportunities, but it's like, you're not even ready because Spirit's like, there's a lot coming in. 4 of Cups here on the bottom of the deck. I feel like maybe you've been in maybe you yourself have been sitting here like, when's it going to be my time? When's this going to happen though? Like maybe you've even yourself just kind of been like, why is this happening? Like it feels like it's kind of for nothing. It feels like I'm just on this weird path that no one else is on. And just that. You're like, I don't know. I'm just here. But Spirit's saying like, no, the cup's coming in. All of it's coming in. And you're gonna be very needed. You are very needed. This reading, y'all, feel like I'm like tapping more into a future potential right now. Some of my readings, it's more like past or what's going on, but this feels like I'm tapping into like a future potential and wrapping up a bigger energy, which can be more difficult for me to articulate, but I hope that if you're getting it, you're getting it. This is big energy for you. Big energy for us. Your challenges, your suffering, your difficulty has not been for nothing. You've learned a tremendous amount that you're not even seeing because it's become normal to you, right? It becomes normal to us when we are in the trenches. It becomes normal to us when we're doing this soul work for so long that you forget that when you first started this, it was like an epiphany to you that reality could even be this expansive, that energy was even a real thing to work with, that, you know, all these things were actually real. Like, you forget that that was the feeling in the beginning, especially if you've been on this path for years, but you forget that like a majority of the world is going to be feeling that for the first time soon, and is already in the process of feeling that. A lot of people are in the process of beginning to wake up to it. And so it's fresh, it's new. It's like you've become the master and the teacher in a lot of ways, but there are going to be all these fresh new like students who are like children seeing the world for the first time, going to school for the first time is the vibe I'm getting. And you're there to be that experienced sort of elder in it, which is really cool. It's the most human thing ever, right? The teacher passing knowledge on to the student and the student becoming the teacher, and being both. Gemini energy, you're the student and the teacher for your whole life. I'm feeling my solar plexus, like there's like an awakening of power in this, an understanding of your power, an owning of your power. That divine masculine, that solar energy, it's waking up, taking all that more feminine spiritual energy that you had to go into to balance out that overly masculine that this world's in. But now it's like you're able to bring that back into that masculine world and make it a more developed version of that, if that makes sense. I think that's the message there. My words. Okay, Spirit, is there anything more about this that we need to know about this purpose or about this greater? This reading is kind of weird, but it's great. It's good. It feels very prophetic. Death and Ace of Swords. Death as the conscious energy and Ace of Swords as the underlying. Interesting that the sword's facing down in this deck. It's pointing down into the earth. Okay. Massive transformation, massive ending, Scorpio energy as well. So that confirms for me that Scorpio, like there's a tremendous amount of spiritual and emotional energy, power that you are having that is, it's very unseen. It's very under the surface, but it can be sensed, it can be felt by people, even if they don't understand it. You are magnetic and have this, again, that like fire hydrant, right? On the surface, it might not look like much, but it's felt that underneath there's a lot of power, that there's a reason for you being here in the way you are, even if people don't consciously understand. And the Ace of Swords underneath, it's becoming clear why. That is becoming very clear. And maybe some of you are waking up to this as well. This reading could be an activation of that, like coming to the clarity, the mental clarity, the knowing, and seeing it. You're seeing in an intellectual understanding why this was all happening the way it was happening. You're seeing now the story. It's all coming together. Why this transformation had to happen the way it had to happen. why you had to die and be reborn so many times, why you had to go through so much difficulty. It's making sense now. And it's huge. It's sacred. It's divine. This isn't just some child's play here. Like, this is real deal, getting to the core of what reality even is vibes. Sacred responsibility. The destined soul's path. Like, and with the sword pointing down, what I'm getting from that is it's like, you have not just done this to just rise up into the heavens and to just, disappear from your human existence and, sit in the divine and just watch from above. No, that's not like what I'm getting from this. I'm getting that you learned all this so that you could bring that clarity down and ground it to this world. You're here to ground this transformation, to ground this power, to ground this purpose, this story of yours that's going to transform others. You're here to ground it into the physical 3D, into that, to be able to articulate it, to be able to put it into structures, to be able to have momentum in the real physical world with it. Which to me is like the ultimate challenge, but the ultimate success is to be able to take spiritual knowledge, to take, that sort of enlightenment, if you will, where you realize we are nothing and everything is spiritual and energy and infinite potential, and to be able to take that and then bring it back down and actually integrate it. To take, I've said this before too, I was talking to my partner about, because he's very into, he's such a Virgo. Oh my gosh. He's the most Virgo you will ever meet. And he's very into like nutrition and wellness, Virgo things, he's very into like understanding it as well. And we were talking about how with like the nutrition field, for example, like diet culture or just like wellness and health, like how all these experts can really pick it apart so much to the point that it's like you forget what the point was in the first place, which is that you should just eat food or, just exercise. It's kind of like, that's the same thing with spirituality and the same thing with like self-development is you can pick yourself apart so much and look at every little thing that it starts to have so many rules and so many separate, but eventually on the path, I think just like in alchemy, you take something, you split it into its separate components so that it can come back together into a more pure form of what it is as a whole again. Take it from a whole, split it up, bring it back. That's what the whole universe is doing. Big bang, separate, to come back to its whole. And that's what you're doing right now. That's what you're doing. The alchemical process. I think you're at that point where you're ready to bring it back together in the alchemy, to become that butterfly, to ground it into reality. Yeah. This is big. This is big. Is there anything else, Spirit, here that we need to know? I'm probably going to watch this back and be like, oh, I should have said this, should have said that. That always happens. But I believe what needs to be said can be said. And you guys are all very smart on here. If you're watching this far, you're smart, you're intuitive. You can extrapolate and take meaning from this. A lot of you probably know how to read cards, obviously. That's what I like to do too. I like to leave these readings open so that you can interpret it the way you want to interpret it as well. I don't want to tell you what your life is. It should feel like a confirmation, and it should feel like it's unlocking like your own intuition. Like, oh, that makes sense now for me in this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. 10 of coins, 10 of pentacles. Split the deck to 10 of pentacles. This whole process is going to, and already is, because you already know it. You can feel it in that infinite potential. But in linear time, I feel I'm speaking to the people who are new. You're the leaders. You're the new leaders of this next era on Earth in this space that we live in, that we on this collective are living in, right? There are going to be a lot of people looking for answers, a lot of people looking for guidance on their path. And just like we have had guidance on our path from different teachers and different people we've looked to, different books that have come to us, it's that golden chain, right? Burp, confirmation burp, this is important. Like the golden chain in Kundalini, which essentially, I believe, means the teacher, that's that thing I said, the guru teaches the student and the student becomes the guru, and it's an everlasting chain of the teacher to the student, the teacher to the student, and it's sacred. The elder passes that knowledge down to the younger generation, etc. You are in that initiative process and have been through that initiative process of becoming a master, an elder, a teacher of this new way of being that humanity is waking up to. You are one of the first to have alchemized it in this time. And you are going to be the one to teach it in the new way, because it always comes in a new form, right? It's always a new way. You're going to teach it in the new way to the next batch of souls ready to awaken and ready to see themselves in this light. And it's going to bring you so much abundance. It's not only going to help all those people, but it's going to just expand you even more and awaken you even more, because awakening and soul expansion is a forever journey, right? It never ends. It's infinite, and that's the beauty of it. And you're just going to continue to do that. I'm going to get you one closing message here from the Sacred Creators Oracle to close out this message. Beautiful message already, but Spirit, what else can you tell us to send this collective off into a beautiful day, evening, night, morning, whatever time of day? You are light. Get back to elemental. That's telling me remember who you are. It's time to remember who you are. You are light. And you are deserving and meant to be, destined to be in that light and an expression of that light. Get back to elemental. You're coming back into the true essence of who you are in an even more integrated, evolved way. And it's time. It's now time to express that. And you always knew it. Here we are. Here we are. All right. I love you, my beautiful collective. I hope this message helps. I hope it's resonated. I hope it's opened some portals, given some keys to some doors. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what is coming. Woo! I'm excited. All right, I'm gonna leave you there. I love you so very much. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.